All right, guys, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are, wherever you be. Welcome. I've got let me see who I've got so far here. Hello, Lou, Mike, John, and as if it's your business. Hello, everybody. So I've got a quick video here. Yes, it's going to be quick because, well, maybe, I don't know. We'll see how much I have to analyze this and what kind of questions. As you know, I was at the Capitol last week testifying on a whole bunch of bills. I was there till about 4 a.m. And, I had a conversation with a few people during that hearing, and I was like, man, it feels like after I got up there and testified, I says, man, it feels like our time is like, it goes by so fast. And they said, yeah, I know. It almost feels like we don't have enough time. And, I didn't think anything else out of it after that. I kind of let it go. And then, of course, as you know, in the last video I talked about how Representative Bowers was incredibly disrespectful to NRA's lobbyist, Tara Micha, and that I had something else to expose. And that's what I'm going to do tonight. That's what I'm going to do right now. As I was going through and listening to the testimony, and it occurred to me again, I'm like, my gosh, it sounds like these people are talking forever. Well, okay, well, what are the rules? How long are we allowed to talk? Is there a time limit? If you go through the House rules, it doesn't say that testimony can be this time or that time or that time. So really the only thing that you have when you need to know how long you have to talk, because really every hearing is different. I mean, sometimes they don't even put a clock on it, because there's not that many people that are signed up and there's not that many bills. And so they're like, just don't be, just be reasonable and we won't cut you off. Sometimes there's 5 minutes. Sometimes there's 3 minutes. I've even seen, for example, when we got constitutional carry 1 minute because there were so many people signed up to testify, they were never going to get through it all if they did any more than a minute. But on Tuesday, there was a standard.
Okay, I want to remind everyone that committee hearing rooms fall under the same decorum rules as the House gallery. Please restrict any outbursts or demonstrations in the audience. The House sergeants have the responsibility to maintain order of the rooms of the House and will take appropriate action if necessary. Due to the number of witnesses who have registered and to accommodate all who wish to testify, there will be a limit of 2 minutes per witness during the public testimony period. Okay. Ready? Yep. We're gonna go on. Chair now lays out.
All right. So there you have it. There was a 2-minute time period, that was given for all public testimony. And when I went through and I started looking at all the data, I was like, okay, well, maybe, maybe invited testimony is different. And, they're giving invited testimony extra time. So I looked into who testified at this hearing on HB 2744 that was invited testimony. Nobody. There was no invited testimony on House Bill 2744. Now, even if there were, let me pull this down. I'm going to show you this. Let's see if I can bring this up. Even if there were invited testimony, you can see that he would have to invite witnesses representing different viewpoints on the measure, okay, and other matters for the public hearing. So this is going to be important because they might try to claim after this video and this exposing thing here, they might try to claim that, oh, well, the people that you're talking about, they were invited to speak on this bill. Okay, so who, besides the people that were invited that all spoke for the bill, did you invite with different points of view to speak against the bill? I wasn't invited. NRA wasn't invited. National Association for Gun Rights wasn't invited. Texas Gun Rights wasn't invited. Nobody was invited. But I looked into this before I did this video. I wanted to make sure I had all my ducks in a row. There wasn't any invited testimony on April 18th for 2744. Okay, none. There were some resource witnesses, but there was no testimony. No invited testimony. So that throws that out the window. It would actually be worse if there were invited testimony. So they probably are. They're kind of screwed here one way or the other as you get back through this. But here's the bottom line. I'll pull this up for you. I did some pulling here, and I did some data. I created a spreadsheet, and I started listing everybody. Let's move this over here. Sorry about that. I don't know if you can see that. Let me make this bigger here. All right. This is the witness list. Now, this isn't everybody. Okay, it starts out, this is every person that's called, and it's one after the other. As you can see from, the times, this person ended, the next person started. This person ended, the next person started. This person ended. There was like a 2 minutes there. But pretty much everybody's here, probably waiting on, they were probably waiting on the next person to get up there. Nikki, maybe. Ended, started. So you can see that if you go and look on the Capitol website and you go and you look at the House Select Committee on Community Safety, what you're going to find, you can watch this video yourself and see all of these are the time hacks. Okay. The video starts, or the testimony begins at 2 hours and 55 minutes in the afternoon session so it's the 7 p.m. one, I believe. So if you go and you pull up the 7 p.m. video, and let me show you that just so you can see for yourself. Oh, let me do this with everybody here. Hang on. Let me show you. I don't want to make this. Okay, there we go. So let's see. Go to committee House video broadcasts in the House. We're going to go down to the 88th session, which is current. We're going to go down to the 18th. Here's the 18th. And we're going to go to the 7:18 p.m. Community Safety Select Committee. When you click on that, it brings up the video player. And if you go to 2:55, approximately.
Okay. That'll be the order of the first 10 or so.
We were in our prayers, and we were standing in the gaps.
So anyway, if you want to listen to all the other stuff, you go a little bit before that. Probably go to 2:43 or something like that when he's laying out the bill. I think it was like a 10 or 15 minute layout of the bill. But if all you want to do is start looking at testimony, it starts at 2:55. Okay. Now notice this here. This is the total time that each individual here was speaking for at the committee hearing. 3 minutes and 40 seconds. When this person ended, I put little notes here because this is relevant. When this person ended at 3 minutes and 40 seconds, remember, and you know what? I'm going to play this one more time.
Okay. I want to remind everyone that committee hearing rooms fall under the same decorum rules as the House gallery. Please restrict any outbursts or demonstrations in the audience. The House sergeants have the responsibility to maintain order of the rooms of the House and will take appropriate action if necessary. Due to the number of witnesses who have registered and to accommodate all who wish to testify, there will be a limit of 2 minutes per witness during the.
All right, a limit of 2 minutes per witness. Look at this. The first witness spoke for 3 minutes and 40 seconds, and when she was done, the light was still green. Spoke for 3 minutes and 22 seconds. When she was done, the light was still green. Remember, you just heard the chairman say it's only going to be 2 minutes. Everybody's going to get 2 minutes because of how many people had signed up. I went and found out there were about, as of 11 o'clock that afternoon, and they shut down registration at noon on the 18th. But as of 11 o'clock on the 18th, there were 189 people that had signed up to testify. Then you've got this one, 3 minutes and 45 seconds. When Javier Casares ended, his timer light was only yellow. And it turned yellow at 3 hours, 6 minutes and 30 seconds. So it turned yellow at 3.5 minutes is when it turned yellow. All right. Remember, you just heard him say everybody gets 2 minutes. Now, Nikki Cross only spoke for 1 minute and 12 seconds, so it doesn't matter. Brett Cross spoke for almost 3 minutes. Light was still green. Little over 3 minutes. Light was still green. Berlinda spoke for almost 4 minutes. Light was yellow. Light turned yellow 3.5 minutes in to her testimony. Jacqueline Gonzalez spoke for 5 minutes. Wasn't cut off. Nobody said anything. Light turned yellow 3.5 minutes in. Light turned red at 4 minutes. So that's how I know for a fact that these people's timers that supported the bill were set for 4 minutes, because I looked at when did the lights change. When did the lights change? Anyway, 5 minutes, 3:38, 3:32, 3:29, 2:37. Well, this is Tara Micha. Now look at the against. 2:37. And what I am not including, I am strictly including the time that the witness starts talking and the time the witness stops talking, the time session. I did not include questions from the panels, okay? Because after someone speaks, sometimes the members of the committee will ask questions, and that 2 minutes might turn into 10 minutes. So none of that, for example, Tara was up there for quite a while. None of that was included in here. As a matter of fact, you can tell because Representative Retta Bowers at 3:46, which is 6 minutes after Tara started, because there were other questions as well, but 4 minutes after Tara ended. So I did not include this 3:46. You can see Tara spoke 37 seconds over her allotted time. 37 seconds over her allotted time by this clock. So that's all it was. But if you look at the times, 2:37, 1:53, 2:39. Now this person, so here's what I put out. If somebody spoke over 2 minutes, when did the yellow light come on? When did the yellow light come on? Because if you look over here, the light was turning on at 3.5 minutes into testimony. But these people are all for the bill. These are the people that were against the bill. This yellow light came on 1 minute and 45 seconds in, approximately. The light turns yellow. 1 minute, not 3.5 minutes, exactly half. So all of these individuals had exactly half of the time to speak. 2 minutes. The clock was set at 2 minutes for anyone that was against the bill, and the clock was set for 4 minutes for anyone that was for the bill. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a violation of your right to be treated equally under the law. This is what we call in the constitutional law world content-based discrimination. Okay? Content-based, because they are against the bill, these people only got to speak for 2 minutes, but because these people were for the bill, they got to speak longer. And then after a couple of people spoke for the bill again, look at this, 6 minutes and 20 seconds, 6 minutes and 40 seconds. Now, by this time, it's getting pretty late. Okay, by this time, it's getting pretty late. And then after that, these people, for the bill. These people are for the bill, and they spoke for all this time. Keep in mind, now here's something else that I was noticing, okay? Light turns red 3 minutes in. There's no time warning, nothing. But whenever one of our side that was, that's not for gun control, whenever the yellow light would come on or it would turn red, the chair would immediately turn on his mic. Now, when he turns on his mic, there's an audible sort of click or like a noise that signals to everybody in there. You can hear the microphone coming on. Whenever somebody, a representative is getting ready to speak, he'll turn his mic on. You can either click, hear the clicking of the mic button turning on and off, or you can even hear it through the speakers. So as soon as that 2 minute warning, the chair was turning on the mic. At no time, notice this. You see my notes here? Do you see anywhere where it says the chair turned on his mic to essentially signal hey, you're going over time. Not only were they going over the 2 minutes, they were going over the 4 minutes in some cases. So,
Okay, but first you'll have to unlock your device.
oh, sorry, my phone is talking to me. So then you get down here, you got the, those of us that are against the bill, we get our 2 minutes. Right now, the only one really that sort of went longer is Stephen Williford. Okay, he went 3 minutes 51 seconds. The light did turn yellow at 1 3/4 minutes, and then the light turned red at the 2 minute mark. The chair did turn on his mic immediately, but Stephen kept talking. Now, I will say the chair didn't stop him, right? That's not the point. Whenever the chair turns on the mic, that's a signal to anybody speaking. I need to shut up. It should be. So as soon as so these two are for it. Now, see, here's the thing. For this one, look where he turned on the mic. After the 4 minute mark. Way after the 4 minute mark. Almost a whole minute. The chair turns on the mic. Not immediately like everybody else that was against the bill, but he gives them an extra nearly a minute. This is about 45 seconds after they've already gone over the allotted time that's already over the other people's allotted time. Same thing here. Now, here's an interesting one. So I don't even know who this is. This was like a Moms Demand Action lady, I believe, or something like that. And for some reason, her yellow light went off at 2.5 minutes. And she was given a red light at the 3 minute mark. So this 4 person got 3 minutes on the clock without being harassed. This person, same thing, got 3 minutes. This is a woman, got 3 minutes on the clock. Oh, that's why every town in Moms Demand Action, because they got special treatment here. And then you keep going. Now, here's what I've done. I took the averages, and what I did was I pretty much knocked out anything that was now for the 4. Obviously, I mean, you can see all their stuff. By the time we got to around the 5 hour mark, they were really like on the time, because it was 7 o'clock. Now we're talking like midnight at this point. So around midnight, everybody from that point on, everybody was getting 2 minutes, whether you were for the bill or against the bill. Everybody was getting 2 minutes. Okay. But that didn't happen until 5 hours after the hearing started. So I did an average here. Here's an average, not counting, from the time that they started. The average person that was for the bill got 3 minutes and 54 seconds that they got to speak. The average person that was against the bill got 2 hours and 11 minutes. Now, keep in mind, both of these numbers would go down if I added in all of the 2 minute people. But this would not go down very much, because pretty much everybody stuck to, if you look up here, they 201. There was a, that's again, here's another 3 minute, no interaction, no chair interaction, didn't turn on his mic or anything like that. 4, 2, 2, 2, 2. But, we didn't really go over our 2 minutes anyway. So, and that's, you can go and look at the video. Oh, you're just cherry picking the numbers. No, all I did was take out on both sides all of the minutes of, so if you look at the number of columns here, I've got 13 rows. 13 rows. Here's 11. Here's the other 2 before midnight. And then after midnight, I pretty much didn't count anybody. Just so you know. I just didn't count anybody after midnight. That's what it is, folks. This is a violation of equal protection under the law, and proof that This committee is based on an agenda. These bills, if you supported their bills, you got extra time. You got twice as much time as if you were opposed to their gun control bills. So that's why, and they had cameras in there all over the place. And you've got the media in there listening to all of this stuff. And if the media is sitting here listening to this and seeing they've got for their cameras much more content because that's what they're given is their content. I don't know how often this is going to happen, but now that I've exposed this, I'm going to start looking into some legal remedies about how to fix this. Obviously, there's, no one's going to get rich off of this, or it's not like there's any money, but we can definitely get some injunctive relief against Chair Guillen and his committee, because this is absurd. This should not be. This is illegal. It's unconstitutional, and some heads need to roll. Someone needs to be censured. The chair needs to be censured because he did this intentionally. If you watch the video, as a matter of fact, let's go ahead and do that. No, I'm not going to do that. Go watch the video yourself. If you watch the video, and here's how you get there again. Let me show you one more time. Oops, wrong one. Present, share screen, screen 2, allow. Okay. Let's see. We're going to. Oh, here we go. Let's just go to 255.
What? That'll be the order of the first.
All right. Now watch this. This is this right here is the committee clerk. He's the clerk for these guys. He's setting up the timer right now. And look, hey, these are Uvalde families. I get it. Okay. They've suffered as well, but under this bill, everyone would suffer. Just because you've had an experience which requires a law in your favor, or you think it requires a law in your favor, doesn't mean you get special treatment. And even if that did say that you get special treatment, at no time did Chairman Guillen say, for public testimony, everyone's going to get 2 minutes, but out of respect for the families, we're going to give them 4 minutes. Now, I would have objected to that. Absolutely. Because, that's an emotional argument that they're making there. There are bills that I fought for that I have an emotional issue with that have to do with police accountability, but I don't get, if I'm directly affected by it, I don't get extra time that other people don't get. So you can see him, he's setting the clock here.
My name is Kimberly Rubio.
He still hasn't started the time.
The victim of the
There he goes, just started the time.
Uvalde.
Now,
This is my husband.
if we move to 258:40,
I have hope that collectively you will have
Light's
the will,
still
the
green.
courage, the judgment, and the strength to do what is just and right. Our hearts may be broken, but our resolve has never been stronger. 21 for 21. Let's raise the age.
all right. So you see how that is. Now we're see my time there? She just finished 258:40, 258:40. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead to Mark Barden at 3:36. All right. Watch the clock here.
As Mark Barden representing yourself and Sandy Hook promise in favor of the bill, is that correct?
That is correct.
Please continue.
Thank you, Chairman Guillen and members of the committee. And thank you to these families of you.
And he just turned it on.
With you and for you.
So here's the thing. He just turned it on. It's 3:36:25. He had already been speaking. Mark Barden had been speaking already for almost 10 seconds. So that, and I didn't add that in here. I didn't add that into their time.
I'm
Now,
here for you now.
what you're
I'll
going
be
to
with
see.
you forever.
So Mark Barden is
I'm a
with
husband and a
Sandy
father
Hook.
and the CEO.
Sorry. Mark Barnes was Sandy Hook promised. They gave him 3 minutes on his clock. 3 minutes. And here's how you don't believe me? Watch this. You just saw at 3:36:17 that he started his speaking. Now let's move to when the yellow light came on. 3:38:52. Now watch the. I don't know if you can see it on your TVs. Hopefully, you probably can't see it. I can see it on my screen. If you're watching on a laptop or a regular monitor, you'll be able to see this green light right here. It's going to turn yellow at 2.5 minutes. Remember, Chairman Guillen said at the very beginning, everyone only gets 2 minutes to speak. Everyone for public testimony. This guy started at 3:36:17. It's already over the 2 minutes. We're at 3:38:35. We're like 17 seconds past the 2 minutes here. And the light is still green. It hasn't even turned yellow yet.
The Uvalde shooter was one of these people. Additionally, young people in particular, including those in lawful possession of firearms, are choosing to commit mass violence. The Uvalde shooter was one of these people as well. Representative King's bill does what is best for the whole.
All right, light just turned yellow. 3:38:52. If you look, that's what I typed in here, 3:38:52. You can see that right here, 3:38:52. This was not a family member. This was not an Uvalde family member that they put 2.5. This is 2.5 minutes in now from 3:36 when he started to 3:38:52, which you can see right here, is 2.5 minutes. Now I'm going to pause it again when it goes red.
Given that young people between the ages of 18 and 20 are with increasing frequency engaging in gun violence, including mass violence targeting adults and students, what is best for the whole is to delay firearm access to the age of greater maturity. Other industries like alcohol, tobacco, car rental, even credit card companies long ago figured out that this age group engages in risky behavior at such a high rate that they stopped making their products available to them. What is best for...
All right, light just turned red. 3:39:32 is what I typed down here. You can see it. That's exactly 3 minutes in. It's actually 3 minutes and 5 seconds in, but I guess I gave them. They did, remember how I said they started the clock late? That's why. So they gave him those extra seconds, but he got a 3-minute timer because he's with Sandy Hook Promise. The family's got 4 minutes. Not a single one of these people who represented the NRA, a Second Amendment attorney, not sure who Charles was, Stephen Williford, GOA, Wes Ferdell, GOA, CJ Grisham, OCT, Darren Lasorted, the National Shooting Sports Foundation. Not a single one of them got 3 minutes being advocates. But if you were for the bill, you got special treatment. All right. That's all I wanted to show y'all today. Let me see if there's any comments here, and then I'm going to end this video. What can we do? Well, what we can do is we can sue them for injunctive relief. I mean, there's really not a whole lot. So anybody that was affected by that, if you got less than, 4 minutes, if you got less than 4 minutes, you have a cause of action, I believe. You have a cause of action. You're not going to get any money, but your name can be on the lawsuit. Let's see. Blah, 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 blah. Trying to see if there was anything else. They run the timer clocks faster than real time. No, the timer clocks are actually pretty decent with the time. May we have an update on your bar card? Yes. So I'm good to go. 100% good to go. I'm fully qualified to get sworn in and licensed and all that. However, what I'm going to do, because it's the legislative session and I've gotten myself way deep on many different bills, and I'm also working with Texas Gun Rights now as helping them with lobbying and testimony. So I'm going to wait till the session's over, which is May 28th. Once the session is over, I am taking my wife and we're going on a vacation. Just her and I into the mountains away from everybody. And then as soon as I get back, I'll get everything licensed, and everything's ready to go. I've got all my firm stuff is set up. I've got my trust account set up. I've got my online software for case management and financial management and all that stuff lined up. Everything's lined up. As a matter of fact, I even got my cards. My official cards are in. Now, before I show you these, okay, I'm not giving these out yet because I'm not a licensed attorney yet. But this is my my business card here. And on the back of the business card, it's got a notice to client. Immediately begin recording. Do not open the door if someone's knocking on your door. Demand to see a copy of a warrant if at home, and have the officer slide it under the door. Explain that you will peacefully comply with any lawful warrant. Do not answer any questions. You have the right to remain silent. Don't sign anything, blah, blah, blah. Then, this is the cool part about my card here. It opens, and on the inside is a notice of to law enforcement about your rights. I do not consent to this contact. Now, keep in mind, if you're under, if they've got probable cause you committed a crime, it doesn't matter whether you consent or not. But you're just making it very clear that no matter what they tell you, you don't consent to the search. That doesn't mean consent and fight them. It just means you don't consent, because even if they have a false thing against you, you don't consent to any search or seizure. You're not going to waive your Fourth Amendment rights. You're not going to waive your Fifth Amendment rights. And if you look under number 3, just don't ask me any questions. Okay. I'm not waiving my rights. So stop asking me questions. I invoke and refuse to waive my Sixth Amendment right to an attorney. Don't ask me any questions without my attorney present. I invoke and refuse to waive all my privileges and rights under Miranda. Don't ask me any questions about decisions to invoke those rights. So in other words, don't say, well, I don't understand. If you got nothing to hide, I mean, why wouldn't you talk to us? Don't ask me. Don't ask me those questions. If I am not being detained under reasonable articulable suspicion that I've committed or am about to commit a crime, I have the right to leave. I do not wish to engage in a conversation with you for any reason. We got a call and you are a suspicious person is not a crime. I am not required to identify myself unless I am lawfully under arrest. If I am under arrest, immediately identify the probable cause in crime. If not, see number 1 above, which is I don't consent to this contact. All information on my state-issued identification card is current and accurate. Don't ask me any questions about it. Anything you need to know is right there on my ID. And then I have a First Amendment right to know your name, badge number, and department to seek redress for grievances. That's my business card. It folds like in the size of a normal business card, but it opens up, and it's got on the back, of course, a notice to the client and a notice to law enforcement. So, if you didn't want to say a word, instead of just being a dick, just hand it to them. Please read the inside of the card before you ask me any questions. All right. And it's got my my Lady Liberty logo back there as kind of a watermark. I like these. These came out really good. And this is my my business logo. Once now, again, I want to say again, I am not an attorney yet. Okay. So I'm not giving these to anybody. I'm just showing you what they look like because I think they're really cool. All right. So when I get back from my vacation, and here's why I'm doing that. If I'm not an attorney, I can't help anybody, and people shouldn't be bothering me while I'm on vacation. Go find another attorney. Find an attorney if you need one. But I'm not the guy. Even if I wanted to help you, I can't. I'm not going to get sworn in until after I get back from my vacation. I figured since they delayed me this long, what's a few extra weeks? So that I can be with my wife and we can decompress and I can recenter and move on to my next career. So that's the update on my bar card status. Let me see what else here. Rose said, taking bets that everyone who went over 2 minutes are anti-gun. For the most part, yes. There were a couple on our side that did, but generally, when that clock turned red, we finished what we were saying. If we were pro-gun, we abided by the rules. How's the necromancer doing? I have no idea what that means. If an attorney bangs his client, is he a necrophiliac? I have no idea what that means. There's some dumb people in here, or at least dumb questions. I mean, not dumb people, excuse me. Dumb questions. I was about to say that's their agenda. How about the Washington State assault weapons ban shutting down the largest AR manufacturer in America? I know. Arrow Precision, man. I've got an Arrow Precision. My 6.5 Grindle is an Arrow. They just need to move to Texas. That's what they need to do. But look, it's unconstitutional. It's going to go through the courts. And it's Washington, so I don't care. That's what you get for voting for those kinds of people, you know? Even if they say it's constitutional, which it's the Supreme Court's not going to. You're the one that voted for that. Live with the consequences. I mean, really, Washington's a shithole. Just like Oregon. Because of all this nonsense. My father, see, and that's it. This is not so Slim Jim. That's exactly what I'm talking about. They can't claim that it's because these people, you know, have experienced gun violence, because a lot of us have experienced. I've experienced gun violence, so-called gun violence. Okay, let's just say that I've been shot at. Okay. So yeah. Do you get additional time? Probably not. Because you're not, as you can see, as you saw in that spreadsheet, the only people that got extra time on the clock. Now, it looked like if you went over a little bit, they weren't going to bother you. Now, what he would do is he would turn on the mic, and that would give you an indication that you better shut up because he's about to talk over you. But no, the only people that the clock was set at 3 minutes or more for were people who supported gun control. That's it. So no, you would not get extra time because you don't support gun control. When your family member dies, Jim, okay, you need to get in line and demand gun control. All right, you have to. It's the law, apparently. CJ has a lot of free time. I do right now because I'm actually doing some legal research as a law clerk. I am working as a law clerk for a couple of attorneys doing some research. I can't say who or what, but and they're not going to tell you either. It's very hush-hush stuff. But I am doing some law work, which is why I'm in my office. I mean, I wouldn't come here if I didn't have something to do. So I am doing some work. But I do have a lot of free time. But why did you have to have a hearing to become an attorney? I don't understand. Is that standard in Texas? So the way that licensing works is there's several steps you have to go through. Some of them are obvious. You've got to take the LSAT to get into law school. You got to graduate law school to take the MPRE, which is the multi-state professional responsibility exam. You got to graduate, you got to complete 2 years to take the MPRE. Actually, I think you just have to complete the professional responsibility course, and you can take the MPRE. I don't think there's really a time for that. But for the bar itself, then you've got to graduate law school to take the bar exam. To get licensed in the state of Texas, okay, it's different in every single state. To get licensed in the state of Texas, you need to have all of those. You need to have graduated law school. You need to, let me get this. That's a question I'm answering. Graduate law school, pass the bar, pass the MPRE. You know, there are some other, just little things here and there that you have to do that are administrative. And then the other one is possess good moral character and fitness. And a lot of people, the way they do it in Texas, now in some states, the character and fitness committees, which every state has a character and fitness committee. In some states, every single applicant to the bar goes personally before a character and fitness committee hearing and does an interview or whatever they call it. It's a hearing. It's a character and fitness hearing. Texas does it a little bit differently. Some other states do as well. And what they do is they just do a background check. Essentially, they do a background check on you. They do a Google search on you. They do a criminal records check on you, a civil records check on you, a court records check on you. They look at, and for the most part, you have to provide all of this information. Like every time I've been arrested, every time I've been convicted once, every time I've sued, every time I've been sued, all that kind of stuff. Now, depending on all that information that they're looking at, it may be easy or not so easy to determine character and fitness. And if it's not easy for them to do without a hearing, without actually personally talking to you eye to eye and helping to understand some of the concerns that a board might have, then you go before the hearing. That was the case with me. They needed me to come to a personal hearing. I wasn't the only person. A lot of people go through the process that I had to go through. As a matter of fact, the reason it took me so long was because there are so many people that have to go before a character and fitness hearing. And by the way, those of us who have graduated law school and have passed the bar exam, we're even prioritized for a hearing. So if you haven't passed the bar exam, they don't really, they've got all the time in the world because you're not going to be an attorney anyway to do your character and fitness hearing. If you're still in law school, you haven't graduated law school yet, they've got all the time in the world to do a character and fitness hearing. Once you've passed law school, passed the bar, you're prioritized. And it just goes to show you that 6 months after I passed the bar is when I got my hearing because of how many people go through. So it's not something special. It's not that I had, I was especially wrong or had character and fitness issues. I just had to go and discuss those issues with them. So that's why I had a hearing. Yes, it's standard in Texas. It's more standard in other states, actually, where everybody has a hearing. All right. Wishing you the best, CJ, from California's most corrupt county, Shasta. I was in, I don't remember. I think it was San Bernardino County is where I was stationed. And then Monterey County. Those are the only two places in California I've really spent any time. I don't know what counties are which there. Let's see. Bearer of the card. Shut the fuck up. What's that mean? Did somebody call bearer of the card up there? I don't know who that's about. All right. I was thinking the same thing. All gun manufacturers should move to Texas. Yes. Hey, CJ, governor signs our constitutional carry tomorrow here in Nebraska. That is awesome. And you know what's driving me nuts is that the NRA is calling Nebraska the 27th constitutional carry state. They're the 26th constitutional carry state. Florida is not a constitutional carry state. If they were going to just pick, at least you can concealed carry without a license. Yeah, but many, many other states, you can open carry without a license, even though you need a license to conceal. So, we would probably be at like 38 or 40 if we went by any state that allowed you to carry without a license, either open or concealed. Most of those are open. So to call Florida an open carry or to a constitutional carry state, sorry. So Nebraska, you beat Florida to the punch. Congratulations. I'm happy for you. You're number 26, not number 27, no matter what the NRA tells you, because they've capitulated on this idea of, they fought for only unlicensed concealed carry. They didn't want to bother with open carry because remember what happened when we fought for it and the NRA called us, quote, downright weird for wanting open carry. They did the same thing in Florida, just they did it a little more, hidden, I guess. All right. Let's see. Stop voting. It's not working. Federal Reserve controls all of them. I would say stop voting. Well, look, I'm not going to say stop voting anywhere. There are, but especially at the local level, you got to vote. People, look, here's why you got to vote even at the federal level. Now it's useless, but if you're going to lose, you might as well lose trying, instead of just losing by doing nothing, right? You might as well fight. But here's the idea. The last, let me bring this up again. I'm going to pull this up. What is the percentage of people that voted? What percentage of Americans voted in 2022? All right. Let's just go to Ballotpedia. All right, here. Oh, this is perfect because we've got voter turnouts for all of these. Okay. So these are presidential years. These are midterms. Okay. Orange is midterm. This is the presidential year. If you look during a presidential year, especially, but we just had a midterm, less than half of people voted in the 2022 midterms. Less than half, 46.8%. And why that's important is the number of voters, like almost all of those midterm, except for the ones that are in hard left or hard right districts, right? Obviously, if you're in a hard left or hard right district, 70% or whatever. But in many of those places, in many of those races, you're talking about, 51-49 was the split among the two candidates. 51% versus the person won with 51% of the vote. But look, if you really boil that down, that means that really only about 22% of the public got to pick those candidates. Because if only half are voting and then half of them are voting for or against, you're down to 25% or so. And so if you're not voting, you're letting 25% of the country dictate what's going on for 100% of the country. And it gets even worse at the local level where you've got, for example, Texas voter statistics 2022. Let's see. I don't like using that. I don't like using any of these. I'm trying to find some actual real. Do we have a statewide? Here we go. Okay, so I'm gonna have to pull out my calculator here. Oh, that's not it. I'm gonna show you what the and I'm sure there's a quicker way of doing this, but I don't know what it is. All right, so let me see what's what here. Let's see, voter registration. I don't even know what this means. What's a suspense voter? Okay, I can't use this because I don't know what these terms mean. So forget that. Let's do this. All right. In Texas, 45.7% of registered voters voted, which means you've got 22 or 23% of Texans telling 100% of Texans what's going on, because that's the half. And then you've got at the local level, keep in mind, you've got people winning by, between 1 and a dozen votes. How, if just one person had said, it's useless voting, had gone and voted, and you don't have to think that there are perfect candidates. There aren't. There are no I'm not even if I were to run, I would not be the perfect candidate, because there's going to be something you disagree with me on, I hope. Heck, I wouldn't even vote for myself if I wanted a perfect candidate, because, it depends on the situation, on the circumstance where I might or might not support something. So, if you think that voting is useless, at least don't feel that way at the local and county level, where people are literally, and even the state rep level and in some precincts, because people are literally winning by just a few dozen votes at most. Some are winning by one vote. So like Texas House candidate wins one vote. Let's see. I know there were some. Anyway. So that's what's important. All right, that's what's important. So I agree with you at the federal level, Todd, that, it's a lost cause up there, but we really need to strengthen the state. So I really hope that you vote at the state level. But I would even say at the federal level, you're going to get screwed anyway. So you might as well pick the person who's likely going to screw you the less. Okay, or the least. At least you had a say in that, even if it means nothing. You don't have to feel good about it, because there's nothing to feel good about when you're voting for your masters. There's nothing to feel good about that, but you do want to make sure that you're picking someone that is going to screw you the least. I mean, the last thing I want is to get screwed a lot. I'd rather get screwed just a little. All right, and that's the end of the comments, so I'm going to go ahead and end this. Please like and share this video. Please subscribe to my channel. I think I'm either about to or just went over 20,000, so I want to thank each and every one of you. I'm going to go look on my YouTube and see it, but I think I just went over 20,000. I'll try to do these more often. I'm going to try and do some more different types of content. I will be in Austin tomorrow testifying on some bills. I will be in Austin on Wednesday speaking at the Gun Owners Lobby Day. So if you can be at the Capitol on Wednesday and you support the Second Amendment, Wednesday is the day to go. Be there at 10 o'clock down in E2, which is the extension area on the bottom floor, right across the hall from and downstairs from the Capitol gift shop in the Capitol Atrium Auditorium. Capitol Auditorium is where we're going to be, and we need as many people as possible to be there. So that's Wednesday at 10 o'clock. I will be there. So I'll be in Austin Tuesday and Wednesday. Tuesday, testifying on some bills. What's going on Tuesday? We got a couple of bills that I will tell you about really quick. In the Criminal Justice Committee, which starts at 8:30 in the Senate, the Senate Criminal Justice Committee, it's on in hearing room E1.016. The only bill that I'm going to testify on is Senate Bill 1166. That is relating to the punishment for the offense of burglary of a vehicle involving theft of a firearm. Look, if you go and you're breaking into vehicles to steal a firearm, that's not a victimless crime. There's a victim. But if you're going to go and steal guns, I want a huge penalty. So I support them making that SB 1166 would make that a higher degree of felony. I'm all for that. It's not a victimless crime, so I want it to be prosecuted. Then in the House of Representatives tomorrow at 2 p.m. in room E2012. E2 is the very bottom floor of the extension. E1 is the next level up, the same level as the gift shop. There are several bills, HB 258 that I'm testifying on. HB 258, it would prevent motorcycle profiling by peace officers. As you know, and as you saw on my future card here, what's that third one there? I want to focus on motorcycle rights. Law enforcement have gotten too much free reign on labeling motorcyclists as gang members and stuff like that. So anyway, that's HB 258 by a Democrat, which I support. I support that bill. 769 by Allen. HB 769 would actually repeal the offense of driving on an invalid license or while your license is suspended. That's a victimless crime. They want to repeal that statute that makes it a crime to drive on a suspended license or with an invalid license. I support that wholeheartedly because I want to get rid of any victimless crime. Nobody's hurt by me driving without a license, especially if I've been driving for many years and my license is expired and I just haven't had time to go and get it or whatever, for whatever reason. Then there is HB 2600. This is a mental health care bill and essentially tells law enforcement departments that you cannot fire a police officer who voluntarily seeks mental health treatment. Okay, that's the Army changed this in 2009, went to this model, and I think it was 2009, might have been 2008 under General Corelli. This idea of removing the stigma of seeking mental help. And that's what we need. We don't need freaking mentally ill cops running around without getting help. So we want to encourage them to get help. So I support HB 2600. HB 3825 relating to publication of certain criminal record information of individuals involved in the criminal justice system. If I'm not mistaken, I don't remember specifically if I'm for or against this bill. I've just got it highlighted. So I'm going to have to, oh wait, I've got it right here. 3825. Let's see what that one is. Oh, it means that's right, because I support this, because they can't publish your mugshot under this bill until you've been convicted. That drives me absolutely bonkers when cops can just arrest you and parade your mugshot all across for the cameras and put it in the newspapers and really smear your name through this. You can beat the rap, but you're not going to beat the ride mentality. Well, under 3825, they would not be able to publish your mugshot until you've been convicted. And that's a good thing. I like that. So I'm supporting HB 3825. All right, 4007. This is a Slauson bill. It allows school marshals to open carry a handgun. So, anything that I'm good with that. HB 4470 allows the reason I like 4470. I'm going to read this one to you because it's about veterans and allowing. So under 4470, relating to school marshals, including eligibility for appointment of a school marshal, licensure, and training requirements. Jim, if you're still here, you want to hear that. Jim, are you here? Is Slim Jim still here? Or did he leave me? I don't know who's here. Let me see. Slim Jim, you there? All right. Well, whatever. Somebody tell him. I guess I'll tell him. A person may not serve as a school marshal unless the person is, and they've added some areas here. One of them, it used to be licensed under section 1701 of the 260 of the occupations code, which means security guards and police officers, or security guards, excuse me. But now a person may serve under this bill, which is 4470, unless the person is a school volunteer who is an honorably discharged veteran or active duty member of the armed forces, a police officer, a reserve police officer, or a retired police officer. So that allows volunteers now, not just licensed security people. If your school wants to allow your veteran fathers and mothers to protect the school as a volunteer, and that saves the public money as well, instead of having to pay for security. I mean, if there are veterans out there willing to protect the schools, then why not? I mean, really, if there's anybody, but especially veterans and police officers, and they're willing to protect the schools for free, this law will allow those schools to allow them into the school marshal program. All right, so that was 4470. And then the last bill that I'm going to testify on tomorrow is 5142. This is a minor thing. A lot of these bills are just minor things, but relating to the issuance of a specially marked driver's license. So, on my driver's license, it says veteran on there, but to get veteran, you have to bring in like your DD 214 or something that shows that you're honorably discharged. If you're not honorably discharged, you don't have access to the VA anyway. And so what this bill does is it allows people to use their VA identification cards. And specifically, let me see, not just the VA one, but it requires the department to accept a veteran identification card issued by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs as sufficient proof of his military service and honorable discharge. So that just makes it easier. For example, one of the reasons I'm going to testify is I was contacted by someone who had just moved to the state. They did not have their all their military paperwork at the time. They were trying to get their license, their driver's license, but they wouldn't put the veterans designator on there because they wouldn't accept her VA identification card. We have an ID to get into the VA. So that allows that. So that's what I'm doing tomorrow. If you're going to be there, look me up. And then Wednesday, if you got to pick a day, go Wednesday. Wednesday is the gun owners lobby day at the Capitol beginning at 10 o'clock. Go and lobby your representatives for pro-gun legislation to fight all this gun control that is pushing its way through the Capitol right now. There is a lot of gun control. And I am going to end this before I hit the 1 hour mark. I don't see any other comments. North Dakota is nowhere near a constitutional state either. Residents must carry and if you're from out of state, you must carry a license from your home state. Interesting. All right, guys. You guys take care. Be safe. Be free. And if you can throw me a few pennies and my social, to my my Venmo or PayPal. It's Venmo at CJ Grisham, PayPal, CJ at CJGrisham.com, or Cash App, $CJ Grisham. It does help me to pay for gas. It helps me to pay for food while I'm fighting for all this stuff. And again, I'm not earning any money yet as an attorney. So I'm not the big boy yet. All right. Hey, Allison, take care of yourself. All of you, Skip, take care of yourself. Modern Retro Radio, John, Zephyrus, Zephirius, excuse me. Saddle Tramp, I really don't know what bearer of your business card is. Brent McCain, what's going on, brother? And Buzz, everybody, take care, be safe, be free. I'll talk to y'all next time.